We back at it, ooh. We back at it, ooh. Yo, what's up, everybody? Yo, week 3. This is our last time together here on the screen. My goodness. We're gonna be closing out our Advent series, closing out our Advent season together. We've been in Luke chapter 2 for the last 2 weeks. We talked about preparation. We talked about participation. And then we'll end our time here talking about a little bit about joy and what that looks like. And so let's dive right in, man. Luke chapter 2, verse 16 through 19. I'm in that NIV, P-O-P-P-A. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. You know what I'm saying? All right, here we go. So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. These were the shepherds. Okay, we talked about the shepherds last week. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told about this child, and all who heard it, they were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary, listen to this, but Mary treasured up all these things and pondered on them in her heart. I want to also go back real quick to Luke chapter 2, verse 34 and 35. We talked about this in our first devotion time. Let me go back and read that real quick. It says this. Then Simon blessed them and said to Mary, his mother, this child is destined to cause the falling and the rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be spoken against, so that the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed, and a sword will pierce your own soul also. You did? All right. So here's what we got. Here's what I'm picking up. Things that stick out to me is, first and foremost, it starts off saying, so they hurried and found Mary and the baby lying in the manger. So last week we talked about how it was important to be specific, because that allows God to be trustworthy. And this reiterates that. And it really sticks out to me. That they met these angelic angels, they said all these things, and they hurried off to see if it was true, and they found out it was true. Another thing that stuck out to me was when they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what they had been told about the child. So they were so amazed about this like spiritual, angelic, mystic experience that they start telling everybody. And I think that sticks out to me, because I think that's something I would do if I seen something like that. And then it hits the last part that sticks out to me was, and all who had heard it was amazed in what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up these things and pondered them in her heart. I thought that was interesting that passage said that she treasured those things and she pondered them. And so I think some things that we can take away from this is that phrase that Mary treasured. I mean, think about it. This woman was giving birth to a baby, and she was a virgin, and she was amazed. She was amazed. But, I remember almost a year ago now giving birth to my daughter, not me, but being a part of the birth, and being filled with joy and being amazed at that experience, but also being extremely nervous. And also being anxious and excited. But what I found was beautiful, and I think something we can take away with is that when these moments of joy that are happening around us, that sometimes we want to be quick to take a photo, and sometimes we want to be quick to try to capture the moment. Sometimes sitting and treasuring what's happening is really, really valuable. The other thing that stuck out to me, and I think something we can take away with, is that Mary pondered. She took the time and she thought about these things. So, I mean, she's giving birth to this baby. The baby's here. She's amazed because she heard all this prophecy, all these good things about this baby before the baby came. She heard these amazing things about the baby. Now that the baby is here, baby Jesus. And so now she's like embracing these feelings, and she's pondering, and she's thinking, and she's taking a moment to really, really soak it all in. The things that she's feeling, the things that she's seeing, the things that she's hearing, things that she's experiencing. And I think that really connects to where we're at in our lives right now. Is that there are multiple things that are going on around us. And it's important that we take the time and we soak it in. Because God is always working. I mean, We go outside and we feel a breeze. That is God working. You're able to breathe in and out with your lungs. That is God working. Taking the time to meditate and ponder on these things, it's really, really important. It allows us to create a heart position that exercises worship. But I think the biggest thing to take away from that, I think we can take away, that we need to take with us, is that Mary was aware. See, she knew that even though she was in a joyous, wonderful place. You know, I made reference back to our first Devo where I read that passage back early in Luke chapter 2, verse 34 through 35. It said that Jesus was going to be this great news, this joy to all people. But it also ends that passage by saying that Jesus was going to be a sword. And see, that word sword is a picture. It's a word picture that shows that it's a metaphor that Jesus is meant to correct, to chop things off, to be assertive, to be truthful, to be honest, to bring correction. To bring correction into a world that's broken. And then Simon even goes and reiterates and says, hey, he's going to even take the time to correct you too. He's going to be the sword in your life too. Because even though Mary was a virtuous woman, she's still broken too. And we still needed Jesus to come and mend our brokenness. So I think when we think about this season that we're in, and as we close our time, I want y'all to meditate on the word of acceptance. See, as we approach these final days before the birth of Jesus, before we celebrate his birthday, there's quite a bit we need to just fully receive, fully experience while we're in this Advent season. And the thing is this, like, Jesus wants to bring us hope. He wants to bring us rest. He wants to bring us truth. And meditating on these things in your heart and moving into a place of acceptance will allow you to see his deep love, his deep compassion for you and your family during this holiday season. So I know it might sound insane to say, like, yo, there's a God out there that came through a virgin birth, and he was a man, but then he wasn't. He was a God. I know all of that might sound complicated, but I want to challenge you to not be led by your intellect and to not try to fully understand everything, and just accept the fact that his presence is meant to bring you rest. It's meant to bring you hope. It's meant to bring you joy. And it's most definitely meant to bring you truth. Hey, God bless you during this holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. All the things, man. God is good. Celebrate Jesus. Celebrate his birth. Celebrate his resurrection. Celebrate the fact that he has been good to you. It's your boy Moses. I'm out.